Hello, everyone, and welcome to INT 1108, Practical Computer Applications. For this session, I'm going to create this recording and I want to go through an overview of the course and go right into Learning Unit 1. All right, this is our main homepage. It may look a little bit confusing, but we do have instructions here. To get started, click on the image. You click on the image. This will take you to a table of contents with links. There's a welcome here. Make sure you go through that. Just click on the link. This goes to the welcome for the class. There's a guide for mobile, if you want to use mobile with Canvas. And then right into the course introductions. And these are optional, but let's go back to our little. You can either use the back button on your browser or, essentially navigate using the menu items here. This is a little bit more extensive because this is the instructor view. Yours will be a little bit abbreviated, but you'll have the same content. All right, so here you'll see essentially, you won't see the instructor resources, but the policy for SimPath or SimNet. One thing I do want to point out, if you're having problems seeing all the content, and this is will be in the announcements as well, and I'll point that out. This video will be listed in the announcements, but this McGraw-Hill integration, this will have you re-log in to make sure you're integrated with the SimNet environment. If you have any problems, click on that. And then there's these keyboard shortcuts for if you're using a Chromebook. If you're not using a Chromebook, there's no need to go into these, but basically it is a document that you can download and print. It goes through all the nice little shortcuts. All right, now I'm just going back to the home page using the navigation here on the left. And then here, this one link with all of the types of courses, INT 1108 and the others, this actually has the coursework. You won't see these two because this is essentially what I see as an instructor. But let's click on this link here. This is where it gets a little confusing, but this will get you into the activities and content for the course. So it will break it down as far as the learning units. You see here, you have all 5 learning units, which coincide with each week of the course. So to get started, you always want to go into the discussion question first. That basically is a prompt where you have to respond to that prompt, your initial response, before Wednesday of the week. And then we have the shortcuts for Chromebook. And then your McGraw-Hill or your SimNet activities are listed here for the week. And we'll get into those for Learning Unit 1 here in a second. But let's go right into the first discussion question. As far as computer applications and systems, understanding file management is truly important. So we're asking you to research and explain the importance of file management. I would definitely use any of your resources, something that you use if you're using Windows or any other operating system. Basically, it's going into we want you to provide some information about your usage. And so that's the discussion question. And remember, you just click the reply button and you post your initial response. And within that, we do have discussion form measurement, basically how your responses are measured. Remember, you have your initial response before Wednesday at midnight, and then you must comment on 2 others' responses before the end of the week. The requirement is that you should respond on 2 different days. All right. And that's the discussion question. And this is the Learning Unit 1. That's file management. So let's navigate back to home. And I'm just going back using the process that we went through before here, clicking on the link. Now, once again, I just discussed the discussion. I just illustrated and described the discussion question requirements. And remember, for week 1, you have 8 7 different activities to complete. Now, the SimNet environment is pretty straightforward. If you have any issues, and sometimes there's quirks and sometimes it doesn't complete things as you may think. Well, if you click on this utilizing McGraw-Hill, this will take you into basically the launch of the McGraw-Hill environment. Remember, this is an integrated environment to Canvas. Remember, Canvas is our learning management system. So we're going into SimNet, and it is the integrated environment. Your view will be a little bit different. I'm going to click on the SimNet student. This is basically what you'll see. All of the particular courses that are using SimNet are a part of this kind of view here. You want to go into Learning Unit 1 and you see that all the activities are within this little view here. And the reason why it's showing not yet available, because the course actually hasn't started yet. I'm creating this video before the course actually starts here on Monday, August 3rd. Let me check that just to make sure. Yes. So that's when, and you just click on each of the links, it'll take you to the activity. And basically, when you scroll down from the main page, you'll see each of the particular components of the activity that you have to complete, and it'll give you an indication of a completed activity. And essentially, that is the SimNet environment. All right. So, as a brief overview for the course material, you see that each week or each learning unit has specific requirements to be completed. You can work ahead, but make sure there's really no late deduction, at least in my course. Matter of fact, week 1 does have quite a bit, but it is constructed for you to go step by step through the activities to help you learn about the Windows environment, file management basics, and application software, the system units, communications and networks, etc. And then at the end of the course, we do have preparation for career services. This is basically something that you'll use. There's a resume builder, talks about the 1-minute things that you can use as far as resources to build your resume. Those are optional. That does not impact your overall grade, but it's useful as you prepare for the workforce. Okay. So to summarize, essentially, once you get started, hit the home page, click on the image, click the welcome. That'll lead you to the, if you want to do your introductions, click on the link here that says basically your coursework link. And this will bring you to the INT1108. And Learning Unit 1 is your requirement for week number 1. And please remember, you can always send me a message via Canvas message, and I promise I will respond accordingly. Okay, so that's it for an overview of the course and the first learning unit. I'm looking forward to addressing all of your needs as you go through this, as we go through this course together. All right. So let me stop share and say that we're in this together, and let's get started right away. Thank you.